We are rolling. Keep rolling. JML here, weekly verdict. It's been a couple weeks, I think. I don't know. Time is all a blur. Time is a perspective as well. JML here.
Charlie here.
Frank here.
We're well, I'm doing well. I don't know how everyone else is doing. How is everyone else doing?
I'm good.
Doing all right. The weather's got me feeling a little lately.
Under the weather.
Under the weather.
But
Well, gotta love allergies. Season.
oh yeah.
I've
Yeah,
had
I mean,
nice,
I deal with
nice.
it all. I deal with it all
Yeah, I
year.
know we
Yes.
talk all the time about it. I've had my sinuses had my head feeling like I was 10 feet tall for a couple days there.
I've been waking up with splitting allergy headaches.
Yeah.
Fun stuff.
Well, welcome to Allergy Chat here on YouTube. New show.
And folks, for the people that are going to say, I don't have any allergies, your body chemistry changes every 7 years.
Yep.
So it's a known fact that you should actually get yourself checked out for allergies every so often because Lord knows you can get food allergies too out of the blue
Yes.
that you never knew that you had. And one day you eat something, you're like, oh shit. And you don't want the oh shit moment. We want
It
the oh
happens
shit.
once on a field trip.
We want the oh shit moments in professional wrestling. We do not want them while eating shellfish. Okay, go get yourself checked, please, please. I'm not making a joke. It's true. It's true. It's damn true.
Indeed.
Indeed. Let's talk about some wrestling. That's why we're here. Charlie,
What up?
I guess we'll lead off with the thing that I texted you to remind me. What did I tell you to remind me?
About Billy Gunn being mentioned on DX25.
Yeah. So a week or two ago, DX25 reunion happened in Brooklyn. Very hyped and publicized. And I go, well, it'd be really nice if they had Billy Gunn there, considering he did do the Hall of Fame ceremony while under contract with AEW. We heard nothing about it until, what was it, like a week or so later after the whole reunion show?
Yeah.
Apparently, Tony Khan thought he can strong arm Triple H into getting an AEW mention on television. Folks, I know what the comparisons are. Well, WWE mentioned Mickey James and had her come out with the Impact Women's title at the Rumble.
Yep.
The only reason they did that is because they released her and put her shit in a garbage bag. You don't. That was not to appease Impact. That was to undo the wrong that happened and occurred to Mickey James when she got released.
Whereas in this case, WWE owes no advertisement time to AEW whatsoever. And it's
No.
just uncalled for to demand that if we want Billy Gunn.
No, just Billy Gunn being out there would be enough advertisement for
Yeah.
AEW. And I'm sure they would have alluded to Billy working for AEW just like they did on commentary without him there. With I think he's doing something with office supplies. That was the line on commentary. Frank, we need some Frankisms. Let's go.
Yeah, about that now. And I was at that show, of course. People were like, "Oh, is there going to be a lot of Billy Gunn chants?" There was a slight "Oh Scissor Me Daddy" song that didn't kind of got shut down right away. Yeah, it would have been cool, but I mean, the way they even did it, which I actually appreciated, they just came out at the end of the show, said their catchphrases, and sent us off the air.
Yeah.
They didn't have them like. I mean, they did a little things throughout the night, but they didn't like dominate the entire show. They didn't, embarrass any current talent. I thought it was well done.
Can I?
As far as Billy, yeah, it would have been cool. I understand what Tony's asking. Hey, if that's his ask, that's his ask. and that wasn't something they wanted to even bother with. I mean, I probably would have just done it anyway because what's the hurt? But hey, it is what it is, right? I mean, they made us too much of a bigger deal of this whole thing. Oh, Billy doesn't work. Well, no, he doesn't work there. I mean, you didn't see them, bringing on, somebody who used to be there when during the Nitro days. They didn't have them come up on Raw and praise WCW. But I mean, they used to take shots at WCW, but that's another story. The fact that he doesn't even feel bothered, the need to take shots at them and mention their name is pretty funny. But
yeah,
hey.
I don't get this attitude or sense of entitlement that Tony has with, oh yeah, just use if you're going to use my talent, mention them. The only reason you have them, Tony, is because they worked for WWE. Do you mention how many times they've won the WWE tag team titles on television?
Exactly.
The Intercontinental.
The only mention I've ever seen is when they go over Jericho being the Ocho. That's the only time I ever see them paying any acknowledgement to belts he's won elsewhere.
I mean, they'll mention how many time world champions and all that. Yeah, I mean, they did do some stuff before. Jericho sending several people sending videos for Cena's night, but they didn't say where they worked for.
I was about to say,
and that wasn't a problem then. But of course, he would. I don't think Tony would ever say no to Jericho.
And for Cena's night, notice they didn't go, "Hey, Daniel Bryan from AEW here, wishing Cena."
I know that was another thing. People were annoyed that they identified him as Daniel Bryan and then Big Show as Big Show. I'm like, well, that's what they were here. So
yeah.
I mean, believe it or not, folks, there's people that have never watched the other channel.
Listen,
absolutely,
and that's not on purpose either. It's just they don't know.
I still refer to Claudio as Cesaro, and that's his name.
I know that's his name.
I'm always going to call Daniel Bryan, no matter what.
And Hager is still Swagger to me.
Yeah,
and sometimes to commentary, especially when JR's out there.
Oh yeah,
but yeah,
has sometimes too.
It's just I don't know. People made a bigger deal out of it, and the fact that he even had to mention that was his ass. The fact he had to put it out there.
It's the kid that didn't get his way in the candy store.
Yep, that's Tony Khan in a nutshell.
I mean, but I said, it wasn't worth it for them to give a free plug for what? For Billy to say two lines in this little 5-minute thing they did?
If Tony Khan was at a candy store, what candy is he trying to get?
Everything?
I think he's a gobstopper kind of guy.
Is it because he likes sucking a lot?
Wow.
No, Tony Khan. If he was in the Willy Wonka movie, he would have been the guy trying to buy everything. It's like, Daddy, they already had Veruca. He could have been that guy. Dad, buy me that candy. Buy me this thing.
Buy me that wrestler.
Buy me that. He'd probably have his figures with him, playing with them as they were walking through the factory.
I want to elaborate.
That wrestler.
I want to elaborate off of something Frank had mentioned about the DX appearance.
Go for it.
I'm going to be honest. I'm a little let down by it. I think that was a perfect opportunity to build the heel. The heel didn't have to get I don't think DX always has to come in and save the day and pound a heel. Like, it would have been nice if a heel or a heel faction could have beat them up and put them over. I don't know. For me, I get it. You want the crowd to go home happy, but future state of the business, wouldn't it make more sense to have someone one up DX?
Yeah, I know we talked about that before the show. We were convinced something was for them to put that on, but then when it came on within, like I said, there was less than 10 minutes left in the show. I had a feeling that they weren't going to do anything.
Perfect opportunity for Judgment Day or someone.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is like when I wished Dominic's turn was on Ray's 30 or whatever 25 year end.
Yeah, I think maybe it's just more of a Hunter thing. I don't know. Maybe he didn't want to do that. Vince definitely would have tried to do something, probably, if they were doing this under his watch.
Well, remember last time they did the DX thing, everyone beat the crap out of FTR.
Oh yeah.
Right, which is apparently still a sore spot for them.
It's only birthdays and weddings that get invaded on WWE TV.
So I was a bit disappointed that it wasn't more than what it was. I think that's where I'm at. And speaking of disappointed, does anyone have anything else? Like, do you guys feel the way that I feel?
I could have gone. I'm fine with how they did things. I didn't need any heel faction to go over or get beat up.
Yeah, I thought they might do something, but when they didn't, like I said, my first thing I said earlier, it was different for a change. They just kind of just straightforward put it out there. I mean, we'll see what everybody thinks. Let us know in the comments if you have any ideas what they could have done.
Comments, like, share, subscribe.
Absolutely.
Tell a friend. Send a carrier pigeon out in the air.
Tell a friend to tell their friends.
Speaking of disappointed, let me tell you what I'm disappointed in. How long ago was the All Out in pay-per-view? How long ago was that?
Beginning of September.
Okay. So almost, let's give it about 7 weeks, right? 7 weeks. Why is it that we still don't have any comments from Talk of the Town Tony Khan on this whole ordeal? We haven't heard anything about the Bucks, anything about Omega. Apparently, Ace Steel was released. No confirmation. No confirmation. And then now the reports are buyout of CM Punk's contract. Why wasn't this done immediately? If the roads were pointed and the signs were pointed to a buyout, this buyout should have been done in lieu of suspension, whatever happened. We don't know what happened.
Absolutely.
To me, it doesn't make sense. Tony has commented on tons of things, but the two things that he hasn't commented on: the Sammy Guevara Andrade incident in the back. We still have conflicting stories about that. And then this other, the backstage incident with Punk and the Elite. If that was what Punk gave us for the year, I'll take it. It's fine. There's a lot of money left on the table. What it says to me, I don't know if it says the same thing to you guys. He's choosing the Elite over Punk at this point because the Elite's contracts are up like in months, like in a couple months, not just like in 6 months, 7 months, like the next 2 or 3 months, those contracts are up. He's obviously looking to buy out Punk before these negotiations really get started with the Elite.
Yeah. I think what it also could be is he probably caught wind of the Elite checking elsewhere what their value is and probably wants to get them back under his thumb and extend their contracts.
He figures that Punk will not wrestle again after this AEW stint.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, weirder things have happened. Weirder.
You think Punk would really go to ROH or something like that at this? Well, he can't go to ROH. Never mind. You think Punk would go to Impact Wrestling after this?
No.
And extend his career? He has nowhere to go.
Let me tell you something. There's been weirder things that have happened in WWE.
Don't tell me you think he's going to go to WWE.
Weirder things have happened. Weirder shit. Did we think the Ultimate Warrior was ever going to appear on WWE TV again?
No.
Did we think Bret Hart was? No. It happened. Okay? I'm saying...
And who got that stuff done? Oddly enough.
Hunter.
It's like with Bruno. No, Hunter got all these people to come back. He brokered most of these deals for guys.
Yeah.
And people say, well, Punk doesn't like Hunter or whatever. I, in actuality, this is and I'm a huge CM Punk fan. I think all of us are fans.
Yep.
But being transparent, who does CM Punk like to begin with?
It's true.
I was just a little. I don't know if you guys were shocked to hear these other reports from the usual suspects that apparently Punk, nobody liked him backstage. I mean, all we heard for the last year was how great it was there. He loved it. He's doing great with the younger guys. And now all of a sudden, nobody ever liked him.
The younger guys really comes down to FTR.
Let me tell you something.
No, I'm just saying, like there these reports. I'm like, I don't hold any of these more than a grain of salt. So
when the AEW was formed, they have the wrong name. It shouldn't be All Elite Wrestling. You know what their wrestling company should have been called?
What's that?
They should have taken the title of Control Your Narrative, because that's exactly what they've been doing for the last 3 years. Through the dirt sheets, they've been controlling their narrative. If they don't like someone, all of a sudden the script is flipped on them and they're a bad person. Look at Brian Cage. Brian Cage got absolutely buried. I wonder why. He complained about his booking. Well, I don't even think he complained about his booking. His wife complained about his booking. And we didn't see Brian Cage for, I don't know, like a year. And he magically reappeared in Ring of Honor.
And he magically got re-signed the minute, or they re-extended his contract without him knowing, or something like that. The minute anybody showed any interest, probably. I just found it interesting that in this buyout talk, you said we don't think he's going to go back. Nobody thinks he'd go back to WWE or let him go because they didn't want him the last time, supposedly.
Money talks.
He reached out. But money talks. There's a reason why there is a no compete being talked about.
Yep.
If he didn't think he was going to go anywhere, but hey, you signed a deal, whatever. I've had some arguments that, well, they don't release people, so it's okay if they hold people to their contracts. Unlike that.
On the open market, right? Who is more valuable, CM Punk or the Elite?
Do we even have to answer this question, folks?
Who's going to bring in the ratings? Who's going to bring in the merch? Who's going to bring in eyeballs?
All of the above, CM Punk.
CM Punk. You can hate the guy. I get it. He's very polarizing for a lot of people. But you know what? Controversy creates cash. Eric Bischoff, right? And it sucks because the controversy that happened backstage, I'm sure if you got these guys in a room or on a Zoom call or something, they could have hashed this out. I just think it's Tony Khan not being able to control his own locker room that caused all of this to happen. And Hangman, who started a lot of this riff with his comments about the Colt Cabana thing, no one says a word about him. Oh, he's such a nice guy. He's such a nice guy. The dude stoked the fire. He's everything's fine. Everything's good. Speaking of Hangman, did you guys see that Moxley Hangman match?
Yeah.
What have I said for the last year, at least, with Moxley? Why is it that your champion has to have hardcore, stiff matches all the time? It has caused him to get so sloppy in the ring that stuff like this happens.
Wait, he wrestles in the ring?
Yeah, apparently the one time that he's doing his one of his moves.
No, I know. It's just making Moxley joke.
It's Listen, no one. I didn't like to see Hangman get hurt. This is
No, and it
awful.
was off of such an ordinary thing.
But Moxley, he's not a world champion. He's not a world champion. I was okay with him getting the belt if it's temporary, not long term. Not long term.
And now he's their 3-time world champion. He's not, like you said, he's not a flag bearer. He's not, I don't know.
He's Sandman.
You made that comparison a few weeks back. It's true.
He's the Sandman of AEW.
That's what he's become. He couldn't even start this match in the ring. It's so there's a format that is Mox only, and it sucks. It's every single match he's in. It has to be outside of the ring for like 10 minutes, then bring it in, do your 5 moves of doom, and end it. It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. You have Sammy Guevara, who can cause trouble backstage, get away with it, slap on the wrist. You have Andrade gets suspended because he openly wants to go back to WWE, right? So you know what we'll do? We'll suspend him. These decisions are just completely asinine. Oh, this person caused this, or he threw the punch, and it's like, okay, just because the person threw the punch, there's a reason why the guy threw the punch.
Yeah.
Frank.
Yeah, but I mean, to draw it all together, I was very sorry to see that happen to Hangman. I know you told me something had happened, and when I watched it back, I was like, oh, geez. Like you said, off an ordinary move after all the wild stuff they were doing.
Which, keep in mind,
the
injury, right, of him falling on his head. Sometimes people fall on their head and they're okay, but when you have such a stiff match and you've already been hit on the head several times, that spot feels worse than it should.
Yeah,
and that's what happened.
Yeah, it's pretty much the brawl style, kind of like an offshoot of the what they used to call the Austin era brawl main event style. But obviously, he was a little more safe because he had the neck problems. I don't know. I don't know. It's just you're like very these matches are kind of formulaic now.
He needs,
I don't know. I think I said on the last
Sandman. They need to change his music to Enter Sandman.
I know. I think we discussed this already. I would probably say that, like I think I said in a previous episode, he never got over that whole death match era. He enjoys that the most, apparently, and they let him do it there. So that's obviously why he re-signed. He's sticking around there because that's what he has to do there. Even though he has shown he can adjust his style and actually wrestle. I know people didn't like it. They didn't like his character when he was Ambrose and all that, but he was able to actually wrestle.
Yep.
Had less injuries.
Yep.
Didn't bleed every 5 seconds. But your mileage may vary. I don't see much of a difference here. Like me. Go ahead, Charlie.
Did he blade at all in WWE?
No.
I can't remember him even needing blood in WWE. Like,
they don't allow it, first of all, but yeah.
I believe Jonathan Good, aka John Moxley, is third. He's the same age as me and Charlie.
Yeah. Yep.
The guy looks like he's 45.
Even worse when he was an alcoholic.
It's this is not. He can't keep up this style at all, especially as a champion. To me, it's not appealing. It's not I like to see my world champion have. I hate to say this. 5-star wrestling matches.
And he can do
storytelling.
And he can do it. He's done a little bit of it. We've seen some stuff even in AEW, so he can do it.
He's on. I believe he's on a list of most 5-star matches for 2022.
Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of them to be fair, but not all of them. But
Most
yeah,
5-star.
yeah, that's why. Yeah, I know it was a lot of controversy. He was what was he, number 13 in the PWI list? Which, of course, the only person who cares about that is Tony Khan and Jonathan Gresham. But anyway, I don't know. I mean, yeah, it was an unfortunate thing to see. I'm not saying he was sloppy. That's why he hurt Hangman. It just happened. But yeah, maybe tone it down just a little bit. And every time you bring it up, if you notice, fans get so defensive. Well, what do you mean? Why are you saying that? I'm like, well, we're seeing multiple injuries all the time, all injured wrestling.
Let me ask you a question. You brought up PWI 500. Who was the number 1 wrestler?
Roman Reigns.
When did you see Roman Reigns bleed like a pig?
He doesn't need that. He doesn't need to bleed to get across or get over.
Who was number 3?
I don't know.
It was CM Punk.
Oh, okay.
The guy that buy you out.
Don't need you anymore. Yeah,
We don't need you anymore.
we'll cut you off the video game cover. You're going.
Danielson and Moxley, they have death wishes.
I said it time and time again. Danielson's going to die in the ring.
Danielson and Moxley are on the Ric Flair plan, where they're literally going to wrestle into their 70s.
Yeah.
And it's going to be sad. It's going to be sad to see. Could you imagine Moxley still doing this at 70? He's going to be the great value version of Terry Funk.
Yeah.
I hope not, guys.
Frank's gonna be like,
we'll be talking about this. We'll have the show is celebrating its 30th anniversary or something. We'll be talking about, hey, did you see the new comeback from Moxley?
Moxley's last match.
Since apparently, he'll just be doing random indies to the day he can't move anymore. Because I don't think he'll ever go back.
Tope Suicinas every match.
When he signed the 5-year extension with AEW, me and Frank said it was a lifetime contract with AEW because that's probably how much longer AEW is going to last,
or how long he'll last with this stuff.
Yeah.
Speaking of contract extensions,
they also signed his wife to a deal.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Well,
Renee Paquet,
which is fine. Okay, cool.
Where is Tony getting all the? I mean, obviously he's getting it from his dad, but you're talking about budget cuts, right? With AEW and buying people out. Then God knows the amount of money they're paying her.
Yeah,
and I mean, and it's only to just as a make good to, but not a make good, but to make Moxley feel better. I don't know, or just so they can say they signed another person that left WWE. I know he loves it. Every time he does, I think Tony Khan starts doing a little dance in his office.
Well, I think it's because WWE was showing real interest in Hunter and Steph were making overtures to get her. And as soon as Tony hears that, he's like, no, mine, I must have it. And
for what? I mean, she's good. I like Renee. She's better than a lot of the interviews they've been using. But you're going to pay her probably God knows how much money just to stand backstage and talk to people.
She's not going to put her on commentary. $500,000 a year at least.
I mean, speaking of contracts, I know just came out that Jericho signed another extension.
Yeah.
Supposedly, it's more money than he was making before, which was reported he was making over $3 or $4 million a year. So how much is he paying his hero Jericho?
His favorite wrestler of all time.
Hey, good for Chris. Hey, you got this guy. You can work him to give you a bunch of money that nobody else could give you. Sure, go ahead, man.
He has his plastic Mattel championship around Jericho's waist forever.
I mean, hey, but I'll give this for Jericho. At least he's still still relevant, and can still move stuff, help out. He said we agreed about him getting the belt for fake Ring of Honor. They're going to announce a show any day now, guys. Any day now.
Ring of Honor on Sci-Fi.
Ring of Honor. I actually referred to that in chat my friends the other night.
Imagine.
That's because of pretty much what it is. They did announce. I know. Tony's steaming. He announced the Ring of Honor final battle date, and then NXT happened to announce.
Yeah.
and he's freaking out.
NXT's like, this is for beating us in ratings. We're
I
gonna
like that he just keeps doing
guys
it to
over.
mess with him. They're like,
And
he's
I
messing with
love,
him.
you know what I love? You know what I love? They're like, who can we add to NXT that's gonna take the mark diehard want to see 5-star matches away from AEW? They're like, oh yeah, that's right. We have Shinsuke Nakamura on the roster. Why don't we
Yep.
just put you in NXT?
I mean, they did pretty well the other night, head to head. I mean, the entire time, I think I texted you the other day, the entire time they had that Wednesday war, yeah, they never beat AEW, but you know what they did? They kept them from getting a certain level. So,
Well, supposedly Bobby Fish is begging for a job with WWE again.
that's the story of his life, right?
He's
Begging
turning
for a
into
job.
Virgil.
I kind of think he might get his job back just because they still have
Roddy,
Braun.
yeah.
And they might want to just do them as a tag team in
Oh boy, that'll
NXT.
put asses in seats.
Well, in NXT with the whole storyline they have going, it would be good. It'd be good for like a few months. The Creed brothers and those two have a little feud. I'd like it.
At least they'll try something with Bobby Fish, and like a certain promoter had the entire Undisputed Era save for Strong Together, did nothing with it.
So I have a hot take. I have a hot take. It's nothing that we've mentioned so far on the show, but Charlie and I had a brief discussion, I think, prior to coming on air. Am I the only one that's not into the Bray Wyatt return?
You're not into it?
No, I'm not into it.
Oh boy.
Charlie's heart is broken.
Yeah.
I'm still just wondering where it's going. That's where I'm at.
Sometimes I want to be the wham bam thank you ma'am of a story. Because the build, right, for what was it? A month and a half, White Rabbit, then we get his appearance on Extreme Rules. Then we get the Bray, I don't know, I guess it's Wyndham character now, where it's like the real Bray Wyatt, where he's thanking the fans for supporting him, all this stuff. That you have, I don't know, phone book, whatever, Bray appearing on the black phone, appearing on the screen. To me, I've seen this time and time again with Bray Wyatt. Where like, oh man, I'm so interested to see where the story goes. I'm so interested to see where the story goes. And I've been let down repeatedly. Who's to say I'm not going to be let down again? I feel like I'm going to be let down.
Oof.
That's just me.
I'm interested to see like how this transitions to with anyone on the roster. Right now, he's basically having a feud with himself.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean like that. I can't help but feel that sense of dread that you're gonna. They're just
the analogy is like you meet this beautiful girl at the bar, right? Meet her, you're infatuated with her, you end up dating her, and you're like, man, this is the girl I want to marry, and then just shit hits the fan, doesn't lead to nowhere, and you're back to square one. Sometimes you would want to go back in time and go, you know what? Maybe I just want a wham bam thank you, ma'am.
It's a good analogy. Yeah, I'd like to. I think they need to like advance it a little faster because right now he's just probably as hot as he ever been. The crowd's really into him. It's like if you wait too long with all this, psychology, whatever else we're going through right now, it might not, hit the same. And it's always hard when you have these different characters. We saw with the Fiend, it did not translate, into a main event in ring character.
He's feuding with himself.
Yeah, which I find interesting, but it's a little odd.
How far could that go until they put someone else in a Bray? And then I'm gonna be really pissed off. I'm gonna be honest with you. I hate when they do that. Undertaker and Undertaker, Kane versus Kane. We're gonna have a Bray Wyatt versus Bray Wyatt. I'm out.
It'll
I'm
be
out.
more like Bray Wyatt versus an imaginary polar bear. They'll just be out there wrestling nothing.
Sounds like something GCW would have booked.
Yeah.
They
Smelly
did use
Janelli.
Invisible Man. That's definitely a Joey Janela booked thing.
Smelly Janelli.
Melly Janelli. Speaking of them, I know there's been some rumors around them lately. I know Janela's like
Tony Khan. Well,
tweeting about.
we get into that. So part of the Moxley contract was that he can no longer do these indie dates, and apparently now no one in AEW is going to do. And I applaud Tony Khan for that. Let's give him
100%.
It took you 3 years though to realize this. 3 years. I've been saying it since day one. Me and Frank went to a show, and what was that? 2019.
Yeah, right.
The whole
right before
card
Dynamite
was loaded with AEW wrestlers. I saw Moxley and Penta literally bleed in front of me. In front of me. I turned to Frank and I go, how does this make sense? If one of these guys get hurt, what kind of a television show are they going to have? Because that's when the roster had no one.
This is right before Dynamite was even on the air. They had just done a couple pay-per-views and they were hyping, it was like 2 months prior to the first Dynamite, and they're out there beating each other up in front of us, suplexing each other on the floor.
He took Penta's mask off.
He took Penta's mask off. Yeah. It was a little over the top. And they've done several shows, and I think Darby was in the same car doing crazy bumps. I mean,
yes. Darby and a fan almost got into an altercation.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to pay these guys a lot of money, why are you going to let them
bottle at them or something? It was crazy.
I don't see the need to let them work indie days if you're paying them this kind of money. That's the whole point. And then fans are like, everybody should let everybody work with each other. No, it's not a good idea.
No.
It's one thing if you sent like your low rung guys that you don't care about and you never give TV time to, but when you got your literal main events, people the show's built around, especially doing this GCW stuff, what Moxley's been doing there. I mean. Yes, Tony's finally decided to join us in the real world. This is why WWE doesn't let their talent do indie dates for no apparent reason that people get sore about.
Speaking of AEW, let's do the AEW train. I've mentioned it quite a few times. Athena, the former Ember Moon. My, have the mighty have fallen.
Oh yeah.
At one point, you would have thought this woman's career would have lit the world on fire, especially the way she was presented in NXT. She had some injuries, she had some bad booking on the main roster, but certainly when she was booked a certain way and produced a certain way, she was able to deliver. AEW, where you don't have as much producing and booking, and you're leaving it on the talent themselves for the most part. Let's just say 90%, 98% is the talent, and 2% input from maybe Tony. You get Athena, who can't even work a match properly. It's been a debacle since she has signed with the company. They literally don't know what. Is it so bad to just copy the WWE formula for Athena? Like, hey, you know what? I want to buy Ember Moon. I don't want to. That was perfect what WCW did. Yeah. They would they're like, okay, we're just going to change your theme music and slightly alter you a little bit, but you're still that character. I don't know what character Athena is.
Honestly, I haven't known what she has been for a long time. When she had that bad, like I said, the bad Achilles injury, she came back and NXT, they kind of tweaked her character. She wasn't exactly lighting the world on fire during that run. So when she was released, I wasn't surprised. And like I said, when they announced they were signing her, I wasn't really into it because once the special way that she was being produced and booked and whatever that you want to call it, She wasn't that impressive.
No.
And now she's slowed down by injuries, and she's working with a lot of talent that's also not very seasoned. And like you said, with lack of, I mean, I know they have a couple producers, you got Malenko, Anderson, whatever, working, but without a lack of a real focus here, without a fit Finley, maybe even to say, working with the female talent, without like some kind of direction or focus on this stuff, you're just seeing random matches, random women matches. They're just drawing names from a card. Okay, we're going to throw them out here on Dynamite or Rampage at 9:30. I think the last week or was the week before, 9:30 on the dot, they come out.
Yeah.
That's how I know, oh, it's 9:30. But they just keep signing it, and we keep saying how they need, work on this women's division. And all he does is just sign random talents, and then they show them on TV, and then they don't. Then they just sign, oh, here comes Saraya. Oh, is she going to come back? We don't know. Oh, wait a minute. At the end of the segment, she's brawling, so I guess she is cleared. Then she disappears for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I didn't get that at all this week.
And then everything has to, I don't know. They have the people they're trying to book, trying to push, and ones that are not, and then people get over, and they you have Jamie Hayter getting over, but they can't, they can't strike on it now because we have to bring Saraya in. We can't turn her now. We have to do this.
Why is Nyla Rose even in storylines?
I don't know. They forgot about her for a long time.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, we're doing angles on the shows that nobody watches, and then we're supposed to wonder why she's got the TBS title with her because people maybe not watch Rampage or watch BTE or whatever they're promoting a lot of the stuff on.
And is Jade a heel, a face? I don't know.
Yeah, she's like with Pac. Yeah, we don't know what she is on a week-to-week basis. She's this little feud seems like she's leaning face. I don't know. They've even dropped the ball on her. They were pushing her very strong, kept her very strong for a long time now, and they've got no direction for her. They just keep feeding her random people.
Feed me more.
Tony Storm's interim champion. Thunder Rosa may or may not ever come back. I don't know what's going on anymore.
Thunder Rosa is doing an autograph session out by me.
Oh, is she?
Thunder Rosa is going to be doing an OnlyFans session to get back in the wrestling ring. It's true. Where's she going to go? WWE was going to make her a referee. So,
what did that say?
Really?
Yes. Her and what was it? Eddie Kingston, I think, was going to be a referee.
They wanted him to be like a trainer or something. Excuse me. Yeah, something like that.
Oh, speaking of Eddie Kingston and Moxley, apparently when the whole thing with the Elite and Punk happened, guess what they were doing outside of the venue?
What?
Smoking cigarettes.
I can see that.
Wow.
And Eddie Kingston's like complaining about being out of shape. I don't know, maybe cut out the cigarettes, man.
Cigarettes, carbs.
You can't take the yonkers out of the man. I would know. Although I never smoke, so thank for that.
In the weird world of wrestling, something struck me. It was reported a few days ago. Bobby Lashley pitched a storyline. Did you guys hear about this?
Yeah, he wanted to be an overweight fat dude.
Now, why would he want to put on that amount of weight?
Wait. What? Can you explain this one to me? I think I missed this one because this is like
Bobby Lashley wanted to put on like up to 100 pounds and just be like
recently.
Bobby Lashley. I don't know how recently. Oh, 70 pounds. That's right.
And be a depressed fat guy.
Would have gone hand in hand with the Lana marriage story angle.
As he explained it, Lashley says he told Vince McMahon that he'd like his character to go through a severe depression after a loss. Lashley said he was ready to gain a considerable amount of weight to sell the physical effects, but Vince didn't think he could do it. I told Vince a year ago, I think a year or two ago, I want to do this character. What is it? I said, if I get beat one time, I want to go into this severe depression and put on 40 to 70 pounds and just be fat. I'd be completely different. I'd be a completely different character and have someone like MVP or somebody that's on my side be like pulling me back. We'd have the crowd watch this transition back to me. He said, "There's no way I could do that." I said, "I think I could do it." This is why you do not let the talent dictate your booking.
And every time we
This
hear
is
about pitches being turned down, sometimes that's for a reason.
this is a perfect
Honestly,
example
this
of
literally sounds.
it. And Bobby, why would you do? What do you think you're Christian Bale? You're gonna do a metamorphosis with your weight? I
Well,
know
imagine.
someone.
I mean, he probably the way it actually works out, he probably would at least have a plan to actually do this that would make sense. I don't know.
He could just get Ahmed Johnson to be the overweight.
What?
We could CGI it maybe. I don't know.
What booker am I thinking of that would actually book that angle?
Tony
Attitude
Khan.
Era. What?
Oh,
Tony,
Russo,
if Bobby Lashley,
No. Attitude Era booker.
Russo and Ferrara kind of thing.
Russo. Now imagine if you pitched that to Russo. You would be all about
Well,
that.
you know what? This might have actually worked during the pandemic when they were pre-taping everything.
Yeah.
They could have done a CGI. I think what's funny. I think New Day, when they still had their podcast, they were joking how they should have done an angle where they got fat, and then the same idea, and they come to the ring still doing their stuff and just fall over. And they were joking. I think Kofi was talking about he liked to do that on like the old video games. He would create himself and then just decide to make himself super fat for some reason. But yeah, that's interesting. Interestingly bad.
If he pitched
Jeez,
that
Bobby.
to Russo would be all for it.
Jeez,
Firing on
Bobby,
all
jeez.
cylinders.
I know Bobby
WWE's
was desperate to go to the top a couple years ago, I guess, but jeez. Thankfully they didn't go with this and instead just booked him as an unstoppable monster for a while with MVP.
Oh wow, there's a lot of little tidbits here on WrestleZone that I haven't seen yet. This one's funny. You want to talk about an ego? Look at this. This is fantastic. Hold on.
Oh boy, wow. Blast from the past right there.
Could someone read the headline?
The Truth Commission was one of the worst ideas ever, but I made it relevant.
Don Callis.
So is Don Callis the manager of
The Jackal. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, they kind of threw him in. There was originally a different manager, then he threw him in there. So I guess in theory he might be correct, but I don't know how far they took that, considering they kind of just dropped the idea and he created the oddities and all that.
Listen, why does he think that he's never done anything?
Wait a second, go back up. Do my eyes deceive me, or is that Bull Buchanan?
No, they do not deceive you. That was Bull Buchanan
Yes.
before. That was his first WB stint.
Wow, I was 8 years old when I learned Bull Buchanan was in the Truth Commission.
Yes.
Yeah, he was in the Truth Commission. They broke up him and was it Recon? I forgot which one was Recon and Sniper. The other guy, they started a tag team that lasted like one show. I think they were called Armageddon or something like that.
Wow.
Then he disappeared and came back with Boss Man like a couple years later. Father of current NXT superstar Brooks Jensen, of course.
Who?
Bull Buchanan.
What?
Yeah. Briggs
He
and
has
Jensen, the tag team. That's his son.
He has kids.
He's got kids. I kind of wish he would show up to manage them. Maybe come as B squared still. I don't know.
B squared.
B2, B squared, whatever. Hey, Cena had some help along the times.
I'm like, wait a second, is that? It is.
Yeah, it is. Don Callis, funny guy.
Let me ask the both of you something.
Go.
I got to put this. I don't know. I'll just throw it out there. Why are the Good Brothers in WWE again?
Because Edge isn't around full time, and AJ Styles needs people to take on the Judgment Day.
AJ asked Hunter nicely. I don't know, or maybe he was just feeling bad that he signed him to a new contract and they got released right after. So he figured, which was apparently Paul Heyman's fault according to them. I don't know still why they just blamed Paul Heyman. Yeah, I don't know. They had a good reaction that night when it came out, but I'm like, I wasn't exactly thrilled about it.
They really can't think of better things to do with AJ Styles.
No.
Apparently not.
Why didn't they just move him to? Why didn't they move him to SmackDown with Rey Mysterio?
Yeah.
Yeah, AJ just kind of been floating around there, just like, oh, here's the guy we're going to put out there and have some cool matches. And then they're not even that great. He's kind of at that point of his career now. We're just going back to the same story we saw 3 years ago.
While we're on the Rey Mysterio,
I know what you're going to say. I know. Are you going to mention the Corbin?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not even a Rey Mysterio fan, but on what earth is Baron Corbin a valid trade for Rey Mysterio Jr.?
Well, I'll take it one step further.
But who's he trading with? There's no GMs anymore.
It's going to be my one F-bomb.
Go ahead.
Why the fuck is JBL back on television? Why do we need him on television?
That oversized suit.
Why do we need him?
Wait, do we think he's sticking around
for Corbin? Corbin can talk and draw heat himself.
I'm all about JBL, so I can't.
I mean, I enjoyed his promo, but
for Corbin,
I don't understand the pairing with Corbin, but
they kind of they teased it a while ago. He disappeared, and all of a sudden the limo showed up.
Yeah.
And it's been like weeks upon weeks, and it just kind of out of nowhere he shows up.
People swore they saw the Fiend in the background.
Yeah, and then he was traded. He lost the rights to Happy, so he's just Baron Corbin. They've tried everything with this guy, and he's not bad. Like you said, he can talk. He's not terrible in the ring. He's a good heel, but
he's a very good heel.
They keep I don't know. Ever since he did the whole authority figure thing, Constable Corbin, all that, he's got a. And then they blamed him. Remember the McMahons came on TV and blamed him for the ratings being down? People literally took that as a shoot. Now they've just buried this poor guy.
Corbin, that was...
Yeah. And then, of course, him and the things with him and Angle wasn't really his fault. It's not like he asked for that. It's kind of like, I don't know.
That was
the best stuff he was doing was that the best stuff they were doing with him when he was homeless Corbin, whatever you wanted to call him.
John Cena should have ended the Kurt Angle career. It just would have been made more sense.
Yeah, they just weren't. I don't know. He just wanted to, or if you want to just get somebody over, do somebody that's not. I don't know.
Gable.
I don't know. I mean, Angle didn't have much left anyway, but they could have done something. But that's another story.
We got a few minutes to kill.
Yeah.
Kurt Angle. Did he forget how to wrestle between his 6 months off between Impact and WWE? It still bewilders me how he completely lost it in 6 months' time.
Yeah, he must have been in really bad shape because he was just the first match he was back in. Was it the Mania tag match?
Yeah.
Or no, they did the Shield. He had to substitute for the
Shield
Roman that time. But I'm saying even that, a lot of those matches, he looked in terrible shape. I mean, he hadn't wrestled for a while, but he looked like he was turning red. He wasn't
he said it was
really sad.
Confidence as well.
And it's funny because, like you said, in Impact, even when he at the very end of his Impact stint, he was doing some good matches. He had a match with some matches with Lashley. Had matches with I think it was McIntyre when he was still there.
Yep,
great matches on TV.
EC3, I think.
EC3. He had some good matches there, even at the end. I mean, his TNA / Impact career he probably had more good matches there than he ever did in WWE. To be fair.
Yeah, no, I'd agree.
But probably the best wrestler they ever had, as far as in ring there. All the things you're gonna saw. But yeah, I don't know. It was just sad. I'm glad he stopped, but it was a pretty sad way. But as far as Corbin now, I don't know. Is JBL sticking around? I don't know if they didn't really make that clear. I don't know.
Unless Corbin is gonna be JBL 2.0, I just don't see how it makes sense.
And they kind of did that already. He had money, but he wasn't exactly that. Yeah. I mean, JBL can still talk. Like I said, that promo was good. I laughed. He got the crowd really against him. I liked when he was on commentary. Some people didn't. I thought him and Cole were good together. But,
so did Liv Morgan and Alexa Bliss switch characters?
I don't know. It seemed like she was just Liv, but then she got angry and was fighting.
Now she's Liv Quinn.
Yep.
That's just the go-to. I know people were saying, "Oh, shit, the makeup." I said she always has weird-looking makeup on, but I don't know. They're trying to do something since they completely boggled her title run. Although it wasn't necessarily all their fault, just didn't work. But And apparently, Ronda turned heel in between shows. Came out last night, or didn't come out last night. Just discussed how much, which is fine because she should be a heel anyway. But
Yeah,
she was just mad at everybody. Talk about one of the bigger disappointments of the year. Her whole
Why does she should have JBL as a mouthpiece?
She needs a
Not
mouthpiece. You're right.
anybody's mouthpiece.
I don't know what they're going to do there. My guess is still they're going to go back to the Becky feud, but I don't even know if that's enough to save this run. It's been a complete flop. She probably should have stayed retired from wrestling as well.
What's the next big match? I guess her and Becky again?
She's going to start doing open challenges.
I mean, I imagine Charlotte's probably going to show up any minute now. Are they going to have Charlotte be a babyface again? I don't know. Possibly. I mean, you could just have her and Shayna do a thing, and then maybe they can team up. I don't know. I would put the tag titles on them, honestly.
We have NXT tonight, don't we?
Yes, Halloween Havoc. It's a show.
Let me pull up the card.
Yeah, it was a good episode of NXT Raw SmackDown last week. We had several people from the main roster show up.
Let's take a moment. Mandy Rose's brother, R.I.P.
Yes.
Condolences
to her family. Yeah, that's where she
Kevin Nash's son.
Yeah. Really
on Scott Hall's birthday.
On Scott Hall's birthday.
Shit.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's why she was gone for a couple weeks. Her brother apparently passed away.
Oh, this is a good card.
We had a lot of sad young wrestling related deaths in the last couple of weeks, honestly.
Did they change Jordan Devlin's name to avoid the controversy behind his Me Too stuff?
I don't think so. They just, I don't know. Maybe. Although they've changed several of the UK guys' names since they come over. Not everybody, but some of them.
I'm glad they didn't change Dragunov. I mean, that name's
right.
Awesome. Triple threat main event: Breaker, Dragunov, and Jordan Devlin.
We'll just call him Jordan Devlin because that's who he is.
It means JD McDonough. I mean, JD is like Jordan Devlin, right?
Or as Kevin Owens put it, JD, don't McGoogle me or something like that.
Yeah,
that was.
That's good.
I don't think they like each other. Really.
Mandy Rose versus Alba Fire. That name sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gimmick infringement for me, but that's all right. The name just is pretty bad. That wasn't a Triple H goal, to be fair.
Ladder match, I guess this is.
For the vacant North American title.
Versus Mensah versus Wagner versus Frazier.
North American title since Solo had to give it up.
Apollo Creed versus Grayson Waller.
Apollo Creed, as Daniel Bryan once called him on SmackDown.
Apollo Crews.
Yes. The man who sees the future and then got blinded by Grayson Waller. Then he was bleeding from his eyes, so he made him bleed from his eyes.
Perez versus Jade. Creed versus Kemp. Well, Julius Creed.
Yeah.
That's not a bad card.
Into his match.
They're really high on Roxanne Perez.
Yeah.
Really high on her.
WWE is as well.
I think she's gonna get the main roster call
pretty quickly
sooner than we think here.
Yeah.
That should be a fun watch.
Yeah, Shotzi's coming back to host.
At what point, going back to the main roster, can we just have Ripley be the leader of Judgment Day?
She's not?
They're pushing Finn hard.
They're really pushing
Finn. But
it's just not believable. It's not believable that all of a sudden after 6 years, they're going to push Finn again. This will be the only legit push that he's had since he got injured when he won the Universal title. Yeah. I can't think of any other time on the main roster where he was legitimately pushed. Besides when he came out as the Demon.
Right. Or he had that random Rumble match with Brock for the title. That was basically his
That was a good match. That was a forgotten match, but that was a good
Yeah.
match.
I think, yeah, I mean, obviously, outside of his NXT, both his runs, especially his last one, was really strong. But I guess Hunter's trying with him. But yeah, she pretty much is the leader. She finally had a match this week again, so it looks like she's getting back in the ring. Yeah,
Buddy
I'm
Murphy.
still amazed how they've turned this thing around from being just this dead angle when Edge was involved with them. It was just stupid into this.
But then you have people
Stuff.
saying that it's dead now, and I'm like, oh, how is it
No, it's
dead
not.
now?
They're like the hottest heel groups among the hottest heels they've got. Dominic gets this major heat. It's not just go away heat.
Buddy Matthews, dude had Alexa Bliss and now Ripley.
Clapping to everybody.
Clap for that man. Guy has game, apparently. Yeah, I don't know. I think Judgment Day would, as like Ripley's the focal point, would be awesome. Like, I just don't see why Stephanie and Triple H wouldn't be all over that with the women's evolution movement, that you would have a strong female character as the leader of a male faction.
Speaking of women's evolution, did you guys catch that possible 2023 pay-per-view lineup?
No.
They're gonna have a singular pay-per-view for King of the Ring, and they're bringing back Evolution.
Okay, that makes more sense. I'm tired of Hell in a Cell and Extreme Rules and just Money in the Bank. Even Money in the Bank. Just put Money in the Bank back at WrestleMania at this point.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a much easier thing to do. You can do like night one have the men's and night two have the women's Money in the Bank matches. I know they apparently eliminated the day one pay-per-view off the schedule.
Yeah, they did.
So there's not going to be anything between Survivor Series and the Rumble outside of another NXT event that we talked about earlier.
Fine.
That's fine. I'm good with that. We don't need TLC. We don't need whatever they used to put on this summer.
They're going to keep War Games as Survivor Series gimmick.
Okay.
That's okay. They needed to do something to lighten it up, so I'm fine with that. Let me see what else.
Crystal Ball, right, for WrestleMania. If we don't get Rock and Roman,
which is pretty much set in stone.
Do you think it's set in stone?
I think so.
Frank?
I mean, I don't know. They're keeping it pretty tight, so they're not even referencing it. But
it would have to be Cody, right? Wouldn't it have to be Cody? Cody and
Absolutely.
Roman?
I don't think there's a bigger match they can put on right now or anybody else.
He's running through everyone.
Yeah.
Charlie has a lot to say about Austin Theory. Take it away.
It just sucks that he's being teased for an NXT cash-in now. And he's basically... I heard that it's either him being teased for an NXT cash-in or him versus Johnny Gargano versus Kevin Owens for the Money in the Bank briefcase, which it's a lose-lose situation when you put it that way. But I don't know. It just sucks that he was Vince's guy and apparently Triple H isn't too high on him.
I don't know about that because Triple H recruited him. I mean, that was his boy more than Vince. He unfortunately, because of the Vince association on screen, a lot of fans can't separate that from fact from fiction, and they're like, "Oh, that was Vince's guy." I'm like, well, yes, but he was a guy that me and J Mo said for years. That's the perfect guy Vince would love, but
yeah,
I don't think that's fair to put that on him. I mean, they haven't exactly protected him since he's won the briefcase. Not shocking. They never do.
They never did.
They don't normally. I was hoping maybe he would do something. I just don't know what he's doing now. He's lost like how many matches in a row on television? And he seems like a lot of fans want him to lose briefcase. They're not into him. They're like, it's still that, oh, well, I was Vince's guy. I'm like, guys, It's
No
not
matter
real.
what happens,
It's not real.
Logan Paul's still winning the Rumble.
Yes, agreed. And I was watching him on SmackDown last night. Oh, there's my Rumble, future Rumble winner right
Logan
there.
Paul's gonna win the Rumble.
Dude,
And
he's setting up for it now.
Remember the reaction videos when Drew McIntyre won the Rumble?
Yeah.
And Edge came back. I can't wait to see the reaction videos when Logan Paul wins the Royal Rumble. Charlie, when you're over whoever's place, I need you to record that moment.
Oh my God, it's gonna be like people just like
When he's in the final two,
It's
especially.
gonna have the amount of eyeballs that would get.
he'd bring in a hell of a crowd. But
I'd argue
him?
it'd be bigger than Cody.
Do you still see him making that rookie mistake and putting his Rumble victory on the line?
Yes.
Okay.
It's the logical story, yeah. I mean, even last night, listening to his promo, yeah, he's miscast his face, but I think he understands that. He's dropping hints. He was talking about, got to face the hard can. He had me cracking up last night. He's going to be such a big heel. People are going to hate it, and that's the point. They're going to hate him for real.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Perfect. It's
like
perfect.
I said. We talked about Vicky not being used for. She got real heat.
Yes.
We don't get that kind of real heat anymore. Not, oh, we're booking this person heel, so we hate him. Like, people really are going to hate him. That's the point here.
Yeah.
Whether or not they still go with our full extended booking, I don't know. We'll see if Cody does, in fact, face Roman.
I don't think if The Rock is exit stage left for Mania, right? And let's just say The Rock and Roman doesn't happen till SummerSlam. The Rock and Roman doesn't have to be for the titles.
No.
It's
not even the logical end of like this title reign. It's more of the logical end of this whole character arc, in a sense. And not that he has to lose to Rock, but that should be the moment that turns him full babyface finally, when they have the respect handshake afterwards.
Yeah.
I mean, you could, if it's not this year, I mean, next year in Philly, WrestleMania 40, what's a bigger match?
The best thing would be after the match, Roman says, "Acknowledge me," and there's a handshake.
Yeah.
I mean, what better thing to do than that?
I mean, he's pretty much babyface now. Like Roman, they can say Roman, oh, he's not on TV anymore. He doesn't do anything. Guy gets a bigger reaction than anyone. I was there 2 weeks ago. The crowd is like, they got there with him. It took some twists and turns, but they got him to that level finally.
It took a titty twister and turn to get him over.
Shockingly enough, turning him heel and letting him be himself, or letting him be more of his natural charisma, worked. Who would have known?
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Sami Zayn again continuing to just light up my TV screen every week.
Sami Zayn's best work of his lifetime.
And him and Jimmy Uso together.
He's got me feeling Usi.
Keep feeling Usi. My dog.
Every time I look at Sami Zayn, I think of Robin Williams when he comes to life again from the Jumanji game. When he's got the full beard and everything.
He's just having like the best year from the Knoxville stuff, which
this is the year for Sami Zayn and Seth Rollins. I'm telling you. Sami Zayn and Seth Rollins are shining this year.
We only got a couple months left. Well, we got about probably 6 weeks left until until we need to do our year-end awards.
Like I told you when I was reading that article yesterday, I did not know how much happened this year. It's insane. There's a highlight reel month by month of what's gone on in the world of wrestling this year, and
it's been the most pivotal year we've seen in a long time.
Oh yeah.
We thought, the COVID era, we thought maybe even when the start of AEW, this has been like the biggest year maybe since WCW ended.
Yeah. Yep. Well, we ran a bit long, which is fine. It's been a couple weeks. Kind of expected it. Anything you guys want to say to the audience before we sign off?
Thank you for doing what you guys do. Please like, share, subscribe, comment. It all helps our channel grow. And we love hearing from you guys. Thank you. Peace.
Franklin.
Yes, sir. Not my name, but it's okay. Seth Franklin Rollins.
Franklin Rollins.
Did you see that thing where they made an advertisement and they accidentally said Franklin? So then he changed his Twitter name to Which, by the way, incidentally, I really wish they didn't have to still continually call him that every single time. Well, what do you think of what Seth freaking Rollins said to you? Anyway, thank you guys for all the support. Like I said, like, share, subscribe, comment. Anyone's going to be next month. If you're going to be in Jersey for Full Gear, I'll be there. I'll be around. I'll be, if I'll get in a plug here, if you don't mind, I'll be at the
Make sure you get a tetanus shot.
Yes. Get a tetanus shot first. Yes. But I did get that. Recently, actually. Yeah, I'll be there. We're having the day of
it's all over you.
Yeah, I know. Newark, right?
Yeah.
Post Wrestling's having their 5th anniversary show that afternoon at QXC nightclub. I think tickets are still available, so I'll be there if you want to come hang out. See me, see the guys from Post, see John Away, see Braden Davey from Up Next. We'll be there hanging out. So, hey, come by, say hello. Let me know how much you liked the show, how much you hated our show. If you agree with our opinions, if you don't agree with our opinions. Thank you guys for all the support. We do appreciate it.
And with that, we're freaking out.